To the outside world, Brad Pitt seemed to have everything a man could ever dream of. Well into his 60s, he remained Hollywood's golden boy, consistently winning prestigious film awards, commanding a multi-billion-dollar fortune, and appearing on red carpets with a look that seemed entirely untouched by time. Yet, behind the dazzling glamour and the smiles flashed for the media, cameras lay a grim, bitter reality. The family empire Brad Pitt once proudly built, a former symbol of absolute fulfillment in Hollywood, had completely crumbled. Crucially, this collapse did not stem from public pressure or the verdicts of court judges. It was dismantled publicly, painfully, piece by piece, by the very children he had raised. The figure of 5 out of 6 is not just a dry statistic. It is a brutal reality for a father. 5 of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's 6 children have publicly and decisively removed the name Pitt from their identities. This is no longer a manifestation of temporary teenage rebellion. This is a calculated legal campaign, an official and lawful rejection of a father by his children. As Brad Pitt faces this ultimate agony, Angelina Jolie also appears to be preparing her final moves to completely erase his presence from their lives. What truly transpired behind the closed doors of what was once the world's most powerful family remains a massive question mark. But what is unfolding before the public eye right now is an undeniable truth. For years, the public mistakenly believed that the strained relationship between Brad Pitt and his children was merely a temporary crisis, an inevitable and understandable byproduct of the high-profile divorce of the century with Angelina Jolie. People once believed that time would heal all wounds, and that as the children grew older, they would view the past with more forgiveness. However, the passage of time has only made the distance unbridgeable. As the Jolie-Pitt children entered adulthood one by one, they showed no inclination to find a way back to their father. Instead, they chose to distance themselves from him as quickly and as far as possible. It was a terrifying domino effect, beginning with implicit statements and culminating in fierce legal actions. The one who officially initiated this wave was Shiloh, the couple's first biological child. From an early age, Shiloh had always been the focus of the media and was expected to be a bridge, someone capable of healing wounds and reconciling her parents' relationship. But reality turned out to be the exact opposite. On her very 18th birthday, the day she gained full legal autonomy as an adult, Shiloh hired her own lawyer, covered all expenses, and filed a petition with the court for a single request: to remove the name Pitt from her name. She did not merely change her display name on social media to express a personal stance. She wanted official legal recognition that she was no longer associated with her father's surname. Shiloh's action was a massive shock to the public and a direct blow to Brad Pitt's pride. Following Shiloh, subsequent rejections occurred quietly, but with equal determination from the other daughters. When Zahara enrolled in college and joined a sorority, she confidently introduced herself to the crowd as Zahara Marley Jolie. The name Pitt completely vanished from the proud self-introduction of the young college student. Next, the youngest daughter, Vivienne, while assisting her mother in producing a musical on Broadway, requested that her name be printed on the official posters and playbills simply as Vivienne Jolie. The disappearance of the Pitt name in the next generation of this family is no longer a coincidence. It is a conscious and unified choice. However, the deepest wounds for Brad Pitt likely came from his adopted sons, who witnessed and endured the family's most turbulent periods. Maddox, the eldest, was reportedly at the center of the shocking incident on a private flight in 2016, the event that sparked the collapse of this marriage of the century. For a long time, Maddox has refused to use the surname Pitt on any non-mandatory documents or papers. And even more bitter is Pax Thien, the son from Vietnam. Pax Thien once sent shockwaves through the media when a post allegedly written by him on his personal account on Father's Day was leaked. In that post, incredibly harsh and heavy words were directed at Brad Pitt, describing him as a terrible father, someone who made the children tremble with fear whenever he appeared. At present, among the 6 children, only the son Knox has not made any legal moves or public statements regarding a name change. But given the current situation, that silence offers Brad Pitt no comfort whatsoever. While Brad Pitt's legal team has continuously alleged over the past decade that Angelina Jolie is executing a sophisticated campaign to isolate the father and manipulate the children's minds, Angelina seems to be aiming for a completely different goal. She no longer cares about winning public favor or defeating Brad Pitt in courtrooms. Her objective is far grander. She wants to completely erase Brad Pitt's influence from the current and future lives of her children. For the past 10 years, Angelina Jolie was practically trapped geographically. Strict court regulations regarding child custody and visitation rights forced her to maintain her primary residence in Los Angeles so that Brad Pitt could easily meet the children according to schedule. This meant Angelina had to put on hold her global humanitarian relief plans, the long journeys that were her passion, to live in a multi-million-dollar mansion in Los Feliz, just a few blocks away from her ex-husband's home. Now, with the children all grown and mature, custody rulings no longer hold significant binding power because the children have the freedom to choose where they want to live and whom they want to stay with. Close sources have begun leaking information that Angelina Jolie is preparing a grand plan, selling her massive estate in Los Angeles, packing up her entire life and moving permanently with her children to New York or Europe. This is not merely a decision to relocate. It is a powerful declaration that she is severing the very last geographical ties between her family and Brad Pitt. He will no longer have the opportunity to cross paths by chance or to easily access the children as before. The collapse of the Jolie-Pitt family has generated an incredibly fierce wave of debate among the public and across all social media platforms. Public opinion is split into 2 entirely opposing sides, each possessing sharp arguments to defend its viewpoint. One side are those who stand with the children and Angelina Jolie. They believe that what Brad Pitt is enduring today is the exact karma of his own past actions. They argue that no mother, no matter how talented or powerful, could manipulate and force 5 independent-thinking adult children to simultaneously turn their backs on and resent their biological father. This harsh rejection could only be the result of deep trauma, emotional wounds too large inflicted by Brad Pitt during their years together, culminating in the flight incident of 2016. For this supportive faction, the children's actions are not cruel. They are a liberation and a way to protect themselves as well as the mother who has always sacrificed for them. Conversely, another segment of the public expresses deep sympathy for Brad Pitt, viewing him as the victim of a malicious, long-drawn-out revenge plot by his ex-wife. They perceive Angelina Jolie as an extreme woman and a master of psychological manipulation. From this perspective, Angelina spent a decade planting negative thoughts in the children's minds, turning Brad Pitt into a monster figure in their eyes, weaponizing her own biological and adopted children to avenge herself against the man who left her. Brad Pitt's supporters emphasize that he has admitted his mistakes, courageously faced his alcoholism, gone to rehab, and strived to better himself for years. The children's complete denial of his efforts and their absolute severance of contact is seen as a massive injustice to a father trying to make amends. This debate will likely never reach a conclusion, because the full truth behind those luxury mansion walls is something outsiders will never truly comprehend. Is Brad Pitt truly a terrible father who burned the only bridge between himself and his children with unforgivable mistakes? Or is Angelina Jolie actually a grandmaster on the psychological chessboard, patiently playing each move for 10 years to finally deliver the decisive checkmate, stripping her ex-husband of his most precious possession, the love of his children? That question remains open, but one thing is certain. In this war of thrones and emotions, the wounds left on everyone involved are far too deep. Brad Pitt may still be an A-list movie star, still able to earn hundreds of millions of dollars and appear radiant before the public. But the title of father, once his greatest pride, has now become a desolate and bitter memory. The story of the Jolie-Pitt family will continue to be a costly lesson about the price of collapse, about power, love, and resentment in the place dubbed the Kingdom of Dreams.